Hello everyone and welcome to College Students Talking. I am your brand new host, Austin Murray, and joining me today to talk about homesickness is Hailey Hawkins.
Hello!
So this is my first ever time actually hosting the podcast. I've been on here quite a few times hanging out with Lex, but this week I will be taking over. So that last one was kind of an homage to the old ways and a goodbye to Lex, and this one's just going to be a new step in a new direction. We're doing a lot of rebranding this year and a lot of new stuff. So for instance, we are also trying something new with videoing. So we are going to be videoing the podcast from now on. So if you guys want a more visual version to see us talking and smiling and hanging out while we do these podcasts, you can go ahead and head on over to our YouTube. And today, our lovely camera woman is Miss Roxana Flores. Do you want to say hello?
Hi.
So if you hear her talk throughout, maybe you will, maybe you won't. Just know that's who it is. She will be recording us today. How are you doing today, Hailey?
I'm great. I've been up super early, but I had chocolate chip pancakes this morning, so it kind of evens out.
Hey, that sounds like a win-win. Chocolate chip pancakes?
Yeah, there we go. So the last time I think I was on, I talked about graduation and kind of like the costs associated with that. And now here I am for homesickness. So, yeah.
Oh, nice. I'm sure graduation is not a cheap thing. Like, you gotta buy the gown and all the stuff.
Well, it was cheap from my end. My parents, my lovely, lovely parents, paid for everything. So it was cheap, yeah. So it ended up working out.
Gotcha.
So homesickness. So obviously I am a MBA student, 5th year here. I don't get nearly as homesick as much as I used to. Freshman year was awful. I was going home every weekend for like the first couple of months, and then gradually throughout the years I go home less and less and less. I think so. Like this year, I think I've gone home 3 times. So in the past, so it's not hardly at all. But definitely the first couple of weeks as a first year student or freshman student here, I think the biggest thing is just keeping in contact with your parents and your friends. I talk to my parents all the time, either through FaceTime or whatever, so that's kind of a big thing for me. But another one, when I was kind of thinking about for this topic, is kind of home-cooked meals. So obviously, I love like Southern home-cooked style meals, like that's my favorite. So finding kind of restaurants that like kind of replicate my favorite recipes has been kind of a big thing for me too.
Yeah, so I was definitely going to ask about that. I think when I was doing a little bit of research for this, because obviously I still live at home, so homesickness isn't something I can really speak on. But I have a lot of friends and stuff who, especially their freshman year, they really, really struggled with it. Mm-hmm. They were feeling, left out. Did you ever feel like maybe because you were here at school, you were missing out on maybe family time or opportunities that you might have at home?
No. Not necessarily, because it's just really kind of me and my mom at home, and then like my dad and my sister kind of live farther away, and like all my family's lived in Mississippi my entire life, so not really. I've been kind of used to kind of that separation aspect of it, but just homesick with like my mom taking care of me, my mom cooking meals, stuff like that, seeing my dad more often, seeing my pets. It was more of that aspect, but like feeling left out of stuff, not necessarily, but like this past weekend, my family did go on a rock crawl. Obviously, I was sad about it, but I wasn't like homesick about it. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, you were talking a lot earlier about the things that helped you, and you said that you liked to, for instance, emulate things that were like that. So you said you missed the meals. So what you tried to do is you tried to step out and go find another way to do that. So you found restaurants that kind of emulated that same style of cooking.
Yeah. Either I kind of do that, or I kind of make it myself, which it doesn't turn out nearly as good. But like for me, I love my mom's chicken spaghetti, and the closest place I found that does like her chicken spaghetti is Sue's Kitchen over kind of by Kroger. Delicious, highly recommend. And they kind of do a lot of like home cooked Southern kind of meals, so they kind of help a lot too. So like for me, food is comfort, like is home sort of thing. So I think that's a big indicator. And like, I remember, I was going to talk about this earlier. So my first freshman year, around December, my great grandmother died. And obviously I was kind of close to her. I was her first great grandchild. And I couldn't go home that weekend for whatever reason. And her funeral was kind of over in the Memphis area. So I think I went to a friend's house that weekend, and I ended up cooking a meal for me and my friends, just that comforting sort of thing.
And that's another thing. Freshmen don't have a lot of access to be able to even cook
Yeah.
those meals. So even if you could cook, which obviously I'm not like a phenomenal cook. I can cook a little bit, and I definitely have to have a recipe.
Yeah.
But even if you can't, it is nice to find those things. And I've never been to Sue's Kitchen, but I've heard that about it. Like it has that Southern style feel. So if you're struggling with maybe missing the food or missing that kind of thing, maybe that'll help you out. But another thing that people like to talk about is stepping out of your comfort zone, trying things you wouldn't normally do. So I am not the kind of person who likes to go out and do things, but I think if I had gone off to college per se, rather than staying here, because obviously I live 5 minutes away, I live at home, it's easy for me. But I'm not a huge go out, talk to a whole bunch of random people, do party events, stuff like that. I've heard from people that I know that do that going to those events, talking to people, doing things that you would not
keeping
normally
yourself
do.
busy.
Yeah.
You know, during like especially the weekends, like when everybody's going home, which I don't recommend. You need to stay on campus, you know, for at least a little bit, you know. But it's keeping yourself busy on the weekends in your free time. It's when you're at home by yourself. That's when you get homesick. So it's finding things to do, whether it's clubs or going out and going to watch a movie with friends or something like that. But it's just getting out there and involved. You know, sitting in the park for a couple hours and reading a book or sun-tanning, something. I think that helps out a lot.
So yeah, like at A-State, for instance, we have the student union. People like to go there. They like to hang out. We have the library. You can go there. The gym, that's another good one. They have rock climbing at the gym, so you can go rock climbing there. They have like a basketball court. Do they have tennis?
I'm not sure about that, but they also offer free classes. So on like weekdays, and I don't know the schedule or anything like that, but they do offer like free like yoga classes, Zumba classes, stuff like that. So, you know, something, you know, finding your own little group and doing something with them throughout the week helps. Yeah.
One thing that I've loved since I came on campus, and that's helped me get to know people and get out there, was finding a club or organization and really getting to know that club. So obviously for some people that's, we have like religious organizations here, and you can get involved with those, and they have their private religious ceremonies, and they do all kinds of stuff, and they go out to events. Like for instance, I know the CFC group here on campus just recently went to watch a movie at Gamble.
CFC. What's CFC?
Is that what it's called?
I know BCM.
No, the Christian. There's a CFC. I'm pretty sure. I saw a picture.
I don't know CFC.
Maybe that's not on campus, but it is a religious group, and it definitely has all college students in it.
I believe you. I've just never heard of that one.
Well, I saw a post on Instagram recently, and it had Riley Tarver, Emily Gibson. It's a girl I went to high school with, and Emily Gibson's the one who posted it. And it had them at the Gamble Home and Furniture doing some.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a band playing or if it was a ministry event, like they actually were doing a religious sermon, or if it was a movie. But I just saw a big group of them, and I read it, and it was like their church group or whatever. So I know, for instance, some people like church groups. Me personally, I fell in love with Future Business Leaders of America here on campus.
FBLA shout out, woohoo!
We love FBLA. Obviously, Scarlet to Black, another great organization, but you can't really get as involved with that as a student. So that's more of a we just try to help people thing. So just find something. For some people, it's Greek life. One of my best friends, she's a musical theater major now. She started out in business. She moved over there. She loves the Delta Zetas, and she gets homesick, and those are like her sisters over there. It's her sorority house. She loves it, absolutely adores those girls. They go out to events all the time. They hang out 24/7. So I would just say, go get out there, put yourself out there, find some friends, find an organization, find something that you resonate with, whether it's religion, whether it's fun, whether it's serious or business related, career related. Find something and really go enjoy it.
That reminds me what I was going to say a second ago before I lost my train of thought. So like, it is okay to go home, but like, for me, you have to plan it just right so you're not stuck at home doing all your homework, because that's not really being at home. You're, you know, having, you know, 6 hours worth of homework and tests. That doesn't make the trip worthwhile. For me, only going home is like 2 hours, not nearly as bad, but I know some other people throughout the state, it's like a 4 or 6 hour drive. You got to make the most of your time when you do go home, so definitely prepping up that week before, getting your laundry done, getting all your chores done, getting your homework done so you can make the most when you do go home. I think that's super important as well.
And another thing, I don't live off campus, so I want your opinion on this. I was doing some research, and it was talking about like maybe changing your mindset, and rather than thinking, oh, I'm here, this isn't going to be as good, this isn't going to be as fun, I'm working, whatever. You have to get out of that mindset. You don't want to think, oh, I'm on campus, this isn't going to be as good automatically. You want to get into the mindset of, I can go home and see my family at some point, but while I'm here, I'm going to enjoy this. While I'm here, I'm going to do my schoolwork, and I'm going to improve my life and learn.
It's an investment for your future, and you have to keep that mindset with you for as long as possible. You know, sometimes you're all going to struggle, but you're investing in yourself as well as your future. So, Roxana, do you have something to pop in? It looked like you wanted to say something. Okay.
You just throwing Roxana under the bus over there. She's like, no, thank you.
I'm just nodding along. Y'all are making some really good points.
Okay.
But another thing I heard you kind of mention briefly a second ago, and I kind of wanted to expand on a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You said that you don't think you should go home all the time, and that is something that I saw some of my friends dealing with last year. Was they wanted to go home every weekend, but that actually made things worse for them. So rather than staying here, rather than getting used to it, rather than figuring it out and getting more used to this new feeling, this new place, they were going home all the time.
It's a safety clutch, and I think a lot of our first year students struggle with that, and I also don't think it helps that, you know, we have our first week of school, and that second week of school we have a 3-day weekend. I don't think that helps either. So maybe there's a way that the university can kind of wrap around it, but it kind of sets up first year students that kind of continually go home on the weekend instead of, you know, offering kind of more events on the weekend. And that's what it still struggles with today. FBLA doesn't do a lot of weekend events because nobody's here on campus. So, but it is kind of getting out of that mindset. There is stuff to do here over the weekend. You just have to go out and find it, or take that time to kind of relax, catch up on homework, just, you know, getting ready for the upcoming week. So it is, you know, sorry, I got distracted. It is, nope, it's gone.
Your train of thought just gone.
Collapsed.
Flew away. So just to kind of reiterate what we've talked about so far, we've talked about it is okay to be homesick. You're going to get homesick. There's going to be things. You're going to come on campus and you're going to be, man, I wish I had a home cooked meal. Man, I wish I could see my mom, see my dad, see my little brother or sister. Hey,
pets.
Pets. Oh my gosh. I love my dog. I could not live. One of the reasons I couldn't live on campus is they don't let you have your dog unless you like go through a whole bunch of hoops to get them here. So I would struggle without my little baby.
So then you could go to the animal shelter or find a friend who has a dog, which I did do my first year. Her name was Bella. She was a little Shih Tzu. Yeah, she was a little white Shih Tzu. She was cute, but she was bad. So yeah.
But yeah, you just want to. It's okay. Basically, the first thing you need to do is you need to know everybody feels this way when they move on campus. People are going to miss their family. They're going to miss the things that are comfortable to them.
Oh yeah, you're definitely not the only one.
You are not alone. So don't make that feel like you're alienated or alone for feeling that way, because you're definitely not. And then to try and cope with those feelings, go out and find some people that you like. Go out, find a group that you resonate with, whether it's religious, fun, serious, career-related. Go find something that you like, that you enjoy, and do that. And don't be afraid to leave your comfort zone. It's okay to be imperfect. It's okay to go out and fail at something, or to be the odd one out a few times. That's fine. It is absolutely perfect.
I forgot. Yeah, my first year, like the first couple weeks in, I did go to like a Wednesday kind of Bible reading thing. I think I left after 20 minutes. Like, it was just, I knew nobody there. It was so awkward, but I'm so proud of myself for doing it, because I like really stepped out of my comfort zone. Like, we went to somebody's house and did it, and like,
oh, that's like way out of my comfort zone. You just go to somebody's house. Oh,
I immediately jumped in, like, you know, at the highest level I could, and yeah, it was a little too much for me, but I'm proud of myself. I did it, and look where I am now. So yeah.
So step out of your comfort zone. It's okay. I mean, listen to Hailey.
And even if it doesn't work out, you can always just leave and go do something else later. So.
And I mean, obviously, it's not going to hold you back. Hailey, do you lose sleep over this? Over going to somebody's house for 20 minutes and then leaving early?
No.
Yeah, I bet you you haven't thought about that in like what, years?
No, like I just now remembered.
Yeah, exactly. So don't think, oh, this is going to be so embarrassing. Literally, nobody cares. You don't even care. You just don't know you don't care yet.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
If people are, super, not want to say self-absorbed, but people are paying attention to themselves. So like, if you make a mistake, nobody's gonna notice or care.
And then another thing is find things to emulate what matters to you. So if you're like Hailey and food is what matters to you,
Food and family, okay, yes.
there's a tie though. That's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
the tie between food and family. For different people, there's different senses that bring things back. For some people, it's taste. For some people, it's auditory. For some people, it's touch. Maybe you feel something and it brings you back home. So if you're like a touchy person, maybe bring like a blanket with you or something. If you're Hailey and it's a food thing and you need that food and you're eating
quality time too. Like I watch movies and stuff.
Okay, then watch the movies you like at home. Go find food that's similar to the food you eat at home. Go find things that emulate those comforts and do those, but don't get so absorbed in that idea of bringing the home to you that you forget that you're in a new place with new people and you're doing new experiences. This is your opportunity to explore and find out new things. So, like we said earlier, go out of your way, go out of your comfort zone, do things that are new to you, but at the same time, don't completely lose track of what you already know you love. So, emulate the things that matter to you, but also go out and find new things that are going to push you in new directions.
Roxanne, anything? Back to you. She asked me, do I still get homesick now? A little bit, not nearly as much as I used to. So over the summer, I was gone for 2 weeks, traveling across America with the Scarlet to Black. And I did get a little bit homesick there, but we were traveling constantly, and I just wanted I want my own bed. I need to be left alone for 30 minutes. It was kind of like a little bit like that, but school-wise, not nearly as much. This year's been very different for me because I'm basically living on my own for the most part. So I've gone home a couple times, but I haven't really been homesick this year.
Yeah, when we went on that week-long trip, I didn't go on your 2-week-long trip, but I did go on our 1-week-long FBLA trip.
Yeah.
And that for me,
you got a little homesick, didn't you?
I don't really call that homesick, but I'm gonna go with yes, purely because I missed being alone, and I am not the kind of person that likes to be with other people constantly. And when I go back to my hotel room and there's a guy in there who I barely know, and it has nothing to do with him, like it's not because I didn't like him, but I go to my hotel room and there's somebody else in there. I leave my hotel room and I'm surrounded by 5 of my friends. I did not get a chance to breathe for 5 or 6 days, and that was just so
And when I do go
much
home, I do take time to recharge. Like yesterday, I went home and I think I took a nap for 3 hours just by myself in my big bed,
Yep.
So just taking that time to recharge away from everybody.
And so for me, when I was feeling that way and when I was upset and I didn't know what to do, I just walked away from my friends. We were out on a pier somewhere in Chicago, and I got overwhelmed, and I literally just got up and walked away. I just went and I sat at the edge of the pier, and I sat on a bench, and I just looked out across the ocean. And I, no joke, sat there for probably an hour and a half, just
Kind of scared us a little bit, but it was okay.
Yeah, I remember that. We were freaking out. We're we're exhausted.
No, we were texting about it. It was fine.
Yeah, it was fine.
But one of my friends came and hung out with me, and that was cool, but then they left after a few minutes because I really wasn't that talkative. They weren't that talkative. We were just trying to vibe, relax. And so again, find something that you enjoy, that's relaxing to you, and do that, because it is going to put you back in that good mindset.
I also think, even for extroverts, taking that time away from people to kind of recharge for a second. I'm a firm believer that everybody needs a good 10 minutes away from other people to kind of collect yourself, recharge, whatever.
And
So,
I tried this over the summer. Have you ever tried to meditate, do that kind of thing?
years ago, I used to listen to meditation videos or whatever to kind of turn my brain off sometimes, and those sometimes work, but never seriously did it.
A few times over the summer, I got overwhelmed with just random things, and it's said that meditating for 5 or 10 minutes is the equivalent of 4 hours of sleep in terms of resetting that brain feeling. Not actually replacing it, but you know how you go to sleep and you wake up and you're it's a new day, it's a refreshed vibe.
Yeah.
That's what they say it replaces. And so I've tried that a few times when I'm in a bad headspace, and it does actually help. Not always, sometimes it kind of persists, but it's a really easy thing too. You can do it anywhere. Obviously, when you're starting out, if you've never done it before, it's easier to do it in quiet spaces, somewhere where you can feel relaxed.
There's also that app too. Do you use the app or whatever?
No, so you don't really need an app or anything. The way it works realistically is you just need a quiet space, maybe a timer on your phone. So set a timer for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and what you're gonna want to do is just, I'll go ahead and give a brief overview. You just want to pretty much sit crisscross applesauce or however you feel comfortable. You can sit like any way you want, and you're going to want to relax your arms, just be relaxed.
It's
so
like,
whatever's
yeah.
comfortable to you, you're going to close your eyes and you're just going to breathe in and out, and that's it. You want to try and turn off all the thoughts in your head. You want to basically focus on your breathing. And when I did it, I watched a few videos of other people recommending different ways. I found that the easiest way to get the brain to stop, because that's something I've always struggled with. I think so much constantly, I can't turn
I
it
have to
off.
take a nap. I just have to immediately
I know,
go into bed.
My brain is always on hyperdrive. There's some people who are like, just can sit in a spot and not think about anything for 10 minutes. That's not me. My brain is always moving 100 miles per hour.
Oh my
It never turns off.
I think I was telling somebody, it's like my brain is like filled with bumblebees. It's just always going or something like that.
Maybe it's ADHD, Hailey, who knows? But I vibe. I vibe with it. I know exactly what you're talking about. I know the feeling. And so for me, what helped me is you have to focus all of your attention on the breathing. Don't focus on no thoughts, because it's okay. You're gonna have a thought every now and then. The point is, as soon as you have that thought, to rubber band back to what you're doing. Don't allow the thought to mature. Don't focus on it for too long. Don't criticize yourself for having a thought. You're gonna have thoughts. You're gonna be sitting there and something's gonna pop in your head. Did I do this assignment? Don't even consider it. Just ignore it. It's okay. Thoughts are going to pop into your head, and you want to focus on your breathing. In, out, just slow, repetitive breathing, and it really does help.
Don't do this while driving if you're following along in your car.
No, do not meditate while driving.
Yeah. Obviously, I think that would be a very poor decision. But so this has been about homesickness, and I'm going to give a real quick, I'm just going to go over it one more time, and then Hailey, if you have anything to add, go ahead. But basically, it's okay. Don't feel bad. This happens to everybody. It is okay to feel homesick. When you do, find things that emulate your comforts at home, whether it's food, movies, a blanket,
Talking
sounds.
to your parents. Yeah.
Phone. Second, keep in communication. Call your parents. Text your parents. Your siblings, your friends from home, whoever it is you really miss, text them. Call them. It's okay. And then, of course, just get out of your comfort zone. Go do something. Go get involved with someone or something. Even if you don't like it, even if you go to a meeting and you're like, this isn't for me, congratulations, you just found one thing you don't want to do. There's 50 more things. Find one you do want to do.
So much.
Find 5 more you don't want to do, and then you'll have your options narrowed down. Like, you can always learn, you can always do better, and don't ever feel bad or embarrassed, because in 2 years, you're not going to remember that experience. And if you do, you're going to go, huh, that's funny. Glad I know I don't want to do that
Yep.
again.
And then I think kind of the last thing, like when you do go home, eventually, I think plan that time wisely. Don't waste your time being at home. You want to take that time to like really do what you love or appreciate whatever you want to do, but like don't spend it on doing homework, doing laundry. You know, actually spend time with your family, spend time with your friends, do what you want to do there.
And then obviously with that as well is don't overdo it. Don't go home all the time. Because that's just going to make it worse. You're just going to feel more homesick when you are here, because you're still going to feel like your default setting is at home. But the truth is your default setting is no longer at home. It's not. It's just not. Most of your time is going to be spent on campus these days. Most of your time is going to be spent away from them. So find things that make you happy. Find things that make you comfortable here. You want to improve your life, and you want to find things that you're going to enjoy while you are here. So don't be so focused on missing those good things from the past. Try and find a new way in the future to stay happy while you're here.
All right. That's it.
Thank you guys so much. This has been College Students Talking, and we will catch you guys in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Bye.
Do you want to say bye to the camera?
Bye, camera.